In this video, we'll explore a great weekend getaway from Los Angeles that can be done using a single tank of gas in a car or a single charge on most electric vehicles. So pack light, leave your gas charge card and recharging cable adapters at home, and join us in visiting a town that essentially only exists to be a resort. Now, before we go anywhere, we have rules, important rules, possibly life-altering rules. 1. The drive, ideally it's scenic. 2. Traffic can't make us question our choice to leave home. 3. It should have places we'd like to stop along the way. 4. The destination must be somewhere we'd really like to explore. 5. The round-trip distance must be less than 350 miles so the one tank, one charge rule doesn't cause significant range anxiety. The range narrowed down our choices considerably. Tulare? Rejected by rule number 1, not a very scenic drive after to home pass. Yeah, it's subjective. San Diego? Out because of rule 2. Terrible traffic most of the way, not subjective. Baker? Nixed by rule 3. Not throwing shade on Barstow or Victorville, but I guess we are. Sorry. Olancha? Rule 4. It's just not the same since the highway bypassed it. Pity, because that one's on one of our favorite roads, Highway 395. That left us with one obvious winner, Pismo Beach, which is great since it meant driving our other favorite route in California, Highway 101. Having enjoyed many a drive along the 101, we've passed through Pismo Beach on a number of occasions, going to some of our favorites like Cambria, Big Sur, and Monterey. We always treated Pismo like a scenic loading screen between better-known destinations. It turns out that we may have been very wrong. We couldn't really understand why it existed. There was no harbor to support shipping, no Franciscan mission, no dramatic origin story, just vibes, miles of sandy beaches, and stunning coastal cliffs. In our research, we learned that Pismo is from the Chumash word pismu, for tar, which was needed by the indigenous people in making ocean-going canoes. It certainly explains the multitude of petroleum facilities in the area. Even though Pismo Beach was passed by the state's early development, it wasn't missed by John Michael Price, who established the city as a resort in 1891. That explains why at first glance, Pismo feels like it just appeared one day fully formed with surf shops, beach rentals, and people who always look like they're on day 3 of a vacation. And later, we're going to visit a place where people literally moved here to escape society, organized by a relative of a former president. We're guessing there was a bit of a lull in the city's development for that to be the case. We'll get to that later. We took a leisurely drive on Friday morning departing LA after rush hour had calmed down, in time for lunch at the city pier. On the drive up, we checked out Yelp ratings for the city and found the most prolific source of 1-star reviews for the entire city, the parking at the pier. Complaints ranged from high prices to overly enthusiastic parking violation enforcement, with people sometimes being ticketed while at their parking kiosk trying to pay the $6 per hour fee. We certainly had a longer than normal wait at one of the kiosks, however we didn't feel this experience ruined the city for us. We deducted 0 stars for this. We decided to grab lunch. Pismo has been touted as the clam capital of the world, with the de facto capital being Splash Cafe, with its famous chowder in a bread bowl. People were lined up outside the restaurant for this local delicacy, so we did what any reasonable people would do. We avoided the line. We decided to go with the adage, when in doubt, eat oceanside. We found no line at Willie's Beach Bar and Grill, right next to the pier looking over the beach. We shared a barbecue burger with sweet potato fries, which absolutely delivered. So now we got the Willie barbecue burger. Let's find out what's going on here. It's got the onion ring, which is obligatory, as well as the bacon, a patty, some form of cheese. So let's see how it is. Very juicy, very savory. The flavors blend together really well. This is a good burger. I recommend it. After lunch, we wandered to the end of the pier to see if we could spot any passing whales or dolphins. Instead, we found fishermen, catching absolutely nothing, and generally sharing that disappointment with anyone who would listen. We took our obligatory selfies and some video of the surfers next to the pier and went looking for a more unusual beach experience. We took a quick walk around the neighborhood and found it to be very similar to the neighborhoods we visited in Santa Monica and Venice. It had a very chill vibe, but wasn't the nature experience you can get just up the road in Moonstone Beach. Just south of the town are the Oceano Dunes. It's the only drive-on beach in the state of California. We're guessing it has something to do with the natural tar excretions making automotive effluents not as damaging to the environment. We later went on to blame tar for anything else we didn't understand. But it gets better. We also read about a group of people who built settlements adjacent to the dunes to get away from the pressures of society in the 1920s and 30s. This group became known as the Dunites, led by the grandson of President Chester A. Arthur, who's best known for pushing through the Pendleton Civil Service Act that provided the appointment and promotion of federal employees based on merit rather than patronage. One could only guess his grandson lost a valuable appointment and decided to withdraw from society. Noted visitors to the area included California writing legend John Steinbeck. These squatters built cabins out of driftwood and discarded automotive glass. The actual site of their settlement was a bit further south of where we hiked the dunes, but the area looked much like this. Ultimately, the Dunites disbanded after the attack on Pearl Harbor, when the beach was crawling with Coast Guard looking for Japanese spies, because it was considered a strategic landing site for a possible invasion due to the local petroleum operations. This show-me-your-papers attitude completely discouraged those looking to live outside of society. We visited the Pier Avenue entrance to the dunes, so we didn't have the crowds and traffic associated with the Grand Avenue entrance just south of town. It's certainly worth a visit. And just when we thought things couldn't get more unexpected, we headed north to the Shell Beach Bluff Trail parking in the neighboring town of Avila Beach. This sits atop a ridge that looks across to the Shell Beach mansions and has a feature called Smuggler's Cave. It's a short hike dropping down to what really is a short tunnel through the rock that doesn't seem to have any logistical value to smugglers, unless they were really into short-distance convenience. Still, it's quite a sight, and we decided to admire the graffiti rather than get angry about the defacing taggart. It's an impressive spot where you can look across the oversized bluff mansions and enjoy the irony that the beach they're overlooking is clothing optional. We love California. Still intrigued how a smuggler could make use of this clearly man-made tunnel, we sent the drone over to investigate. Our best theory is that smugglers could use the tunnel to lower contraband for storage in the caves below. Uncertain whether this was true, we congratulated ourselves for figuring it out and moved on. On our way back, we stopped at Avila Valley Barn. Think of a farmer's market on steroids, having a great selection of baked goods and souvenirs. They have all sorts of animals as well as pony rides for the kids. The market itself had great-looking fruits and vegetables, although we were a bit disappointed. We were there in the off-season for some of our favorites. We did discover something called churro caramel puffs. They're diabolically addictive. They could easily be called snickerdoodle Cheetos, ignoring the whole trademark thing. Dangerous, yet highly recommended. Here's a photography tip. When taking someone's picture, consider what's behind them, so they aren't mistaken for having features in the background. I suspect Kathy did this on purpose, although she denies it. For the night, we stayed in an inn at the Cove, a Bluff-top hotel with ridiculous ocean views. We picked it purely based on ratings, which is either a great strategy or how you end up in a horror movie. Luckily, this one worked out. Wildlife, great pool, solid breakfast, and only mild highway noise despite its proximity to the 101. Just enough noise to remind you civilization still exists. There's no shortage of hotels in this town, so if you have a favorite, please share it in the comments below. We would really like to give our elite subscribers the benefit of your experience. For dinner, we met some friends at Pono Pacific Kitchen at the south end of town on Grand Avenue. We can happily recommend the baby artichoke appetizer along with the butterfish entree, what we were told was their house specialty. Others raved about the Caesar salad and the scallops. We paired our butterfish with some sake, because we make excellent decisions while on vacation. The next morning after our breakfast, we did a little more exploration of the coast with its typical May-gray coastal fog. We discovered the world's least effective bird repellent features while enjoying a brief walk on one of the cliff-top parks. Then we went inland to the Edna Valley wine region. We got tickets to a seminar with two of our favorite winemakers, John Albin and Paul Lotto, to taste some of their wines and hear a bit how they work to make their distinctive styles. Perhaps it's a bit nerdy for casual enjoyers of wine, but there's several tasting options in the area that anyone could enjoy. And just like that, we are back on the road heading to Los Angeles. No gas stops, no regrets. If any of you have more experience with the Pismo Beach area, please let us know in the comments what we missed or what you would do instead, because clearly we've been underestimating this place for years. If you like these lighthearted first-person no-stock footage videos, please like and subscribe to make it easier for us to make them in the future. Hit that bell to be notified for our next release. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.